Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Oil Talks, live and unplugged, brought to you by the Visionary Leader community. Today is April 8th, and for those of you that I have not had the pleasure of meeting, my name is Aisha Harley. I live here in Portland, Oregon, and I have been using and educating others about essential oils for the last 10 years. So it is amazing, the blessing of doTERRA. Every day, I am grateful for our oils, especially now. Does anyone feel the same? I am grateful for our beautiful global community that continues to grow. I know we've had people on this call from Egypt, from Spain, from all around Europe, from all around the United States, from Canada. It's amazing. So thank you so much for being here. We are excited to have this time to connect while we are all staying in and hopefully staying safe. So thank you for showing up. It means a lot to all of us to have this time together. We have a really amazing talk for you all with some really great information. The layout of our hour is first we have Kelly Ann who's going to guide us through a little grounding exercise. I found spending a little bit of time breathing, focusing, grounding can be a super helpful tool to calm any anxiety that may be going on and just get you present for the call and the information we have to share. We then have Stephanie King, who is our DIY expert on the team, and she is going to show us how to make some simple home cleaning products. And then most of the call will be occupied with Dr. Josie giving us a deep dive into protocols to keep yourself, one, healthy, keep your immune system strong, two, what to do if you begin to feel ill to hopefully knock it out, and three, if you really get in it or anybody in your family or friends becomes seriously ill, you'll have some tools to support. I really want to do a huge shout out of gratitude to Dr. Josie, because as some of you may have heard at the beginning, before we actually officially started the call, Dr. Josie called me yesterday morning and said, I'm working on the presentation. I'll get back to you soon. She got back to me at 11:30 last night or around that time, and she was still working on it. She is such a gift to our community because she has brought together a community of medical care practitioners. Our team is very unique in all of the medical practitioners we have on our team. We have NDs, we have medical doctors, we have practitioners of Chinese medicine, we have mental health care practitioners, we have nurses. And I really want to give Josie the credit for beginning to attract our healthcare practitioners into our community. And we are so lucky in that they all freely share their wisdom and their experience. So Dr. Josie has been collaborating with many of our healthcare practitioners. She's been doing a lot of research. So what she has to share with you is not something that she just randomly threw on a document and said, oh, let's try this. This is stuff that she's really been working hard to complete. And so she is going to share these protocols with you. We have it in a document, so don't stress as she's going through it, because we will provide you with the document. And as we go through the presentation today, I really highly recommend this is one that you pay attention to. Don't fold your laundry or do your dishes or be out in the garden right now, because you're really going to want to pay attention. And rather than even taking notes, listen to all that Dr. Josie has to share so you can really take it in. And then again, we have it all written out for you. So before we get into all of that, do we have Kelly Ann on the call? Did she appear?
We do. Want to say hi, Kelly?
Hey, okay. Kelly Ann is a beautiful soul. She is living in the Central Coast in California. She is also an essential oil educator and teacher and mama. and she brings the experience of her yoga teacher training to guide us through some grounding and centering. So Kellyanne, I'm going to pass it on over to you. And you may have to unmute yourself.
There we go. You can see me okay? Can you guys see me okay?
We can see you.
Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm so grateful for these calls and this team and to get to spend a few minutes with you before we jump into more incredible resources and information, to just take a few minutes to slow down. I don't know about you, but the world feels even busier in some ways. The information and the noise coming from the outside can really feed the anxiety and the emotions that we're feeling. And so it's nice to take just a few moments to breathe. So we're going to use oils and breath together. If you have cedarwood, rose, and Melissa handy, those are the oils that I'm going to speak to and be using. If not, no worries. You can grab your breathe oil. You could grab your favorite floral oil. Something that helps you feel connected to yourself and feel good is totally okay. But again, if you have it, cedarwood, rose, and Melissa oil. So we're going to use these oils and we're going to use our breath to first center ourselves and listen inward, to connect both inward, like I've mentioned, but also with each other. We are not alone, even though we are apart. And so we can use our oils to feel that connection. And then lastly, these oils and breath practices can help us to stay open in a time where we might want to shut out a lot of what we're feeling and a lot of what's going on. We can use these practices to keep our minds and perspectives open, and also to allow in more light. So stay open to more light from our highest self. Okay, I share. It sounds like.
Do you have
Yes?
a headset with you or close that you could grab? If you put that in, everyone might be able to hear you better. Some people are having a hard time hearing you.
Sure. One moment.
Thank you. And then that will give everyone a sec to grab your cedarwood, Melissa, and rose. Perfect. That should help. Thank you.
Okay. Let me know if that helps.
Oh, that's 1,000 times better.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'm not a tech guru. Perfect. Okay, so I hope that you're all finding your oils and making your way back somewhere comfortable. Yes, feel free to give me any other feedback if you aren't able to follow. Since I'm on my phone, I can't actually see everybody, but I feel you. So as you get back to your seat, I invite you to start by applying your oils. So again, if you have breathe or a floral, you're welcome to just put it on your hands and inhale, apply it over your chest and heart. We're going to begin with cedarwood, and you can put a couple drops in your hand. If your feet are accessible, I recommend you rub this on the bottom of your feet, but you can also just inhale or rub it over your heart. So cedarwood is a very earthy and grounding oil, and it's the oil of community. So connection to each other and to ourselves is so valuable right now. So let's thank our cedarwood. Let's get this on our feet and let's feel each other. And after we get our cedarwood rubbed in, we will move to rose oil. If we have it, I'm using the Rose Touch. Any floral is okay. And apply some over your heart space and inhale it from your hands. Rose oil really invites us to be open to receiving love and to feel that connection from our heart to each other. It also helps us to connect with our empathy and our compassion. And then last, before we start our breath work, just a little bit of Melissa. You can touch the top if you have it handy and apply between your eyebrows. And this is where we are going to invite our higher self in, invite in the light, the joy, the hope that we all need so very much right now. Once you have your oils on, please close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. You can keep a soft gaze if that feels better. And with your eyes closed, notice your breath. Notice how it feels in your body. Just notice. As we walk through this exercise, if thoughts come in, don't force them out. Don't judge them if you can. Just allow them to move in and out of your consciousness and return your focus to your breath. Once you've noticed, we're going to do a little tensing and release. So begin by, on your inhale, clenching your fists and feel your entire arms tense. Lift your toes slightly off the ground or curl them in and tense your legs. And as you tense, pull your belly button towards your spine, squeeze your eyes shut as tight as you can, and open your mouth in a silent scream. And then on your exhale, release. We'll do one more together and then two at your own pace. So on your inhale, squeeze your fists, lift your toes as you tense all of your limbs. Pull your belly button into your spine, squeeze your eyes shut and open your mouth wide. And on your exhale, release. As you exhale, feel the tension melting into the floor, melting into the earth below you. Know that you are held. Inhale to tense. Feel where you're storing any stress or tension in your body. And as you exhale, allow all of the tension and all of the stress to melt away as you sink deeper into your support. Do this one more time. Inhaling to tense every muscle in your body. Squeeze your eyes shut, open your mouth wide. Feel that tension and then allow it to release as you exhale. If you need to adjust your position at all, feel free. And just with your eyes still shut, notice any changes in your body, any changes in your breath. Feel your feet firmly on the floor, your sit bones against your chair, and allow your body to be supported. Now, as you begin to deepen your breath, place your hands onto your belly, wherever they're comfortable. And feel free to keep your eyes closed or open them, whatever's comfortable for you. And as you inhale, feel your belly expand, pushing against your hands. And on your exhale, as your belly comes towards your spine, feel your hands melt back down. Take two more breaths like that, breathing into your belly, allowing your belly to expand into your hands. And then on the exhale, allow your belly to contract and your hands to move closer to your spine. One more. Inhale, expand your belly. Feel your hands rise. Exhale, contract. Now we'll move our hands to our ribs. So move them up a little bit higher, right onto our ribs. And this time, as you breathe in, feel your breath expand your ribs, both forwards, backwards, and your hands as you inhale, move out to the side. And on your exhales, return. Take two more breaths like that, breathing deeply into your ribs. See if you can expand them into your hands. And as you exhale, allow them to contract. One more into your ribs. And then contract. Last, bring your hands up to your heart. See if you can still smell the rose. And keep your breath right there in your chest. Inhale and allow your heart to lift your hands up. And as you exhale, contract and fall. Feel your hands fall. Inhale into your chest. Fill your chest with air. Feel your hands lift. And exhale, allow your hands to fall. One more breath into your chest. Inhale to rise. And exhale to fall. Now place your hands wherever feels comfortable as we breathe normally on your belly, on your chest, on your ribs. And we are going to take a few 3-part breaths together. You're not trying to fill your lungs to full capacity. This should feel relaxing and calm. If at any point the breath feels fast or short or tense, feel free to return to your normal breath and just breathe and notice. So together we will take an inhale into the lowest part of our belly. And as our belly expands, we'll bring that breath into our ribs and all the way up into our heart space and our chest. And then on the exhale, we'll first feel our belly begin to collapse as the air moves back up and out our ribs, our chest, fully exhaling. Take 2 more rounds like this on your own, breathing first deep into your belly, expanding your chest, your ribs, and your chest. And then exhale, belly, ribs, chest. Inhaling, belly, filling the ribs, filling the chest. And exhaling, empty the belly, empty the ribs, empty your chest. One more full round at your own pace, and then allow your breath to return to normal. Notice any changes in your body, in your heart, in your mind. And when you're ready and your breath is returned to normal, gently open your eyes and we can begin our class.
Thank you
Good.
so much. I feel so much better. I didn't want to come back. Did anyone else just want to stay there? Your eyes
Always.
closed, breathing deeply.
Want to go?
What I love about doing these grounding exercises is that it just reminds us how in a few moments with our oils, with our breath, and with some awareness, we can completely change our state of being. So Kellyanne, thank you for that beautiful guidance and that reminder. So next, we're going to bring on the brilliant Stephanie King. I think of her as our DIY expert because I, after all these years of using essential oils, continue to learn from watching all of the amazing things she does at home. She lives in the Portland area in Lake Oswego. She is a trainer. In fact, that's how I met her, is that I started going to her classes so she could kick my booty into gear. She has a beautiful, beautiful daughter. And Stephanie King, come on camera and show us how to make some home cleaning products. Oh, there you are.
You're actually frozen, Aisha, so I don't know if I'm frozen or not.
Oh,
Okay.
How about now? Okay, I see you. You're good.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody. So like Aisha said, I am a personal trainer, and I had the joy of working with Aisha for several years, which it ended up flipping itself on its head because she's the one that introduced me to oils. So for the last 20 years of my life, I have worked in the wellness space. So in the fitness space, in healthy living, healthy lifestyle. So a little background is with that kind of education, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was a really big gut punch for somebody who practiced a healthy lifestyle, who ate correctly, who lived the life that you're supposed to live. And when you're given that kind of a diagnosis, at least it was for me, I needed a lot of internal peace moving forward with decisions that were going to be made. But it also really tapped into me going down a rabbit hole of why and how did this happen? So I have a family history, but I had done genetic testing and it had been negative. I had negative BRCA test. So and when I went on that rabbit hole, I realized that even though I was dabbling with oils at the time, I was using them more for rituals. I wasn't necessarily looking as a product replacement approach to them yet. So what I really started to do is do some of my research. And here we all are in the world as it is now, where we are confined to our homes. And one of the statistics that I came across a couple years ago is that 90% of our time is spent indoors. So that is very true for all of us right now. And our inside environments are 2 to 5 times more toxic and have more pollutants than the outside pollutants. So if that gives you any indication of what we're surrounding ourselves with, just take that note and look around. At the time, I will be totally transparent with all of you. I was a big fan of my Tide Sport. I was a big fan of having Glade plugins. I was a big fan of my aluminum-based deodorant. I was really tapping into my Lysol. So like I said, I had not tapped into product replacement yet. But I think the most daunting fact that I came across when I was going in my rabbit hole was the effect that our toxic products have on our littles in our home. Because right now it's the strongest toxicity for our kiddos. And the reason for that is because their bodies are so small, they don't have the immunity for environmental threats that are going around in our homes. And they just don't have the metabolic pathways for that immunity. So as a mom, at the time I had a 2-year-old, I really wanted to clean up what I'm doing. And I started to read my labels. And okay with some of them. And I use the EWG app. So these are things that I want you to take into consideration. The Environmental Working Group app that you can get on your phone. And there's another one called Think Dirty. So I started plugging in my products into these websites. And some of them that I thought were okay were actually very toxic. And it's because there's no regulation on what you can put on a label. You can put anything you want to on a label without much of a regulation. And that goes into the tens of thousands of chemicals that we use and have been introduced since the 1950s that have no regulation whatsoever. So while you may think a cancer diagnosis is super scary, cancer didn't happen to me, it happened for me. It happened for me. So what I want to say with that is that the Maya Angelou quote is so true for me: when you know better, you do better. So that has led me into a couple of recipes that I'm going to share with you today. So the first one is what I call the All the Things Cleaner. It's super simple. If you have any of these products at home, it's a really easy way just to start making some quick changes. I am all about repurposing what I have. So I have like an old Pellegrino bottle. I don't know if you can see this. And what I did is I took one of my old cleaners and I sanitized the sprayer. So if you didn't know this, your old spray bottles, the tops will fit on a Pellegrino bottle. Just a little mama hack, okay? Now, what I've also done is I have put on here stickers of what oils I use in my cleaners. So it makes it super simple when this needs to be refilled on what I do. So this all-purpose cleaner I use in the aspect of literally all the things. So right now, I'm really big about cleaning doorknobs and the knobs on my cabinets. I'm really big on the railings. I'm really big on cleaning switches, so on owl, cleaning the light switches. I wouldn't obviously recommend spraying the light switches, but countertops. I've actually even used it on my laminate flooring. I would highly suggest you test your flooring before you do this, but it works on my laminate flooring. So here's what I do. In this bottle, so you can see how big it is, okay? I recycled this old bottle. I filled it with 2 to 3 tablespoons of my On Guard concentrate. Now, one of these bottles makes up to 18 cleaners. A little bit goes a long way. It's highly concentrated. So with this recipe, with my bottle being as big as it is, I do 2 to 3 tablespoons in here, and I eyeball it. Once you've made it enough, you really know how much 2 to 3 tablespoons are. And then I have on this little presentation some oils that you really want to think about incorporating into it. I'm really big on incorporating 10 drops of a citrus oil. The reason why is I actually internally take my citrus oils as well. I think of it as kind of a gentle detox to start my day. I add it to my water, and I have it with hot water first thing in the morning, a couple drops, and then I add a couple drops of different citruses throughout the day. It's also basically a degreaser. So it's like a Goo Gone, if you want to think of a replacement. So if you have sticky residue on things or things that are caked on, it's amazing. So I have in this one, lemon or lime, usually, okay? I go between those two. Those are my 2 favorite. A little side note, if you've got kiddos and you have the sticker residue all over the place, because my daughter's still into stickers, add just a drop of lemon on that sticker residue, use your finger to tap it in, and then use your nail to scrape it off. It comes off within seconds. So think of that as a degreaser in here. I also add 10 drops of Purify. Purify is a blend, amazing properties. It's a great deodorizer. It's got major cleansing properties. I also add 10 drops of lavender. Lavender is your all things calming. We have things blooming right now, so there are plenty of seasonal threats. So again, like I said, our homes are are a great breeding ground for toxicity. So I also add the lavender in here. And then I also add some peppermint. Peppermint is super uplifting. So the smell just automatically awakens the senses. So if you want to do a really basic recipe, 2 to 3 drops or 2 to 3 tablespoons of your concentrate, 10 drops of a citrus, and 10 drops of spearmint or peppermint. Like I said, I add the others for other reasons. Fill the rest with water. Super easy. Shake it up, and then you have your all-purpose cleaner. Do not forget your doorknobs right now, okay?
I love that.
Do not forget your doorknobs and your light switches.
We are actually at a time, and I know you had another recipe, but why don't we save that for another call? And we were going to put the recipes up on our site.
That sounds great.
So thank you for sharing your story, and I love that reusing your Pellegrino bottle. I have lots of those around. That's an awesome tip. So thank you so much. Okay, Miss Dr. Josie, are you ready? So I don't know that Dr. Josie needs a whole lot of introduction. We all know and love her, but for those of you that do not know Dr. Josie, she was a practicing naturopath for about 15 years. And I'm so grateful because I introduced her to essential oils, and I think she sort of went along because she was my friend, but she was very skeptical. And then as she began to experience and witness the power of them, she decided to step down from her medical practice and dedicate herself to education. And one thing she said to me that always really stuck with me is that she said, I can be more powerful teaching people naturopathic principles of health than I can be sitting in my office treating people individually. And that is what she has spent the last 10 years doing, is freely educating all of us how to apply naturopathic tendencies for our wellness, for our families, so we can stay healthy, how to best use these essential oils. And again, she's done a deep dive into a powerful protocols that I know gives me a lot of assurance to have this information during this time. So Dr. Josie, I'm going to hand it on over to you. Go ahead and share your screen and bring up the presentation. And again, I will say, you really want to pay attention. So I really recommend just listening. We are going to share the document with all of this, so you don't have to worry about writing it all down, and to kind of mitigate all the questions that might come up if you just really listen. I think that will be the most valuable thing to do right now. If you're doing other things right now, is a good time to stop and really give Dr. Josie your full attention.
Thank
Thank you, Aisha. And thank you, Stephanie and Kellyanne. Yes, so this is going to be a little bit of a fasten your seatbelts ride. And, sometimes we really work hard in the group to distill down information so it's really digestible for everyone, and sometimes sacrifice a lot of details and a lot of options, and because we don't want to confuse and to give out a clear little message. Well, today you're going to get more of like the doctor experience and the doctor protocol, because this is so important. So I'm going to share my screen, and all right, can we all see that? Oh, let me make it big. Uh-oh, my computer's starting the slideshow. Oh, great, yay. All right, so these were just calling protocols. And this is really the, what I'm gonna be going over is the extended "you're in it" section. So we've covered before the kind of prevention and wellness and a lot of the things for staying safe right now with a lot of things going around. And I want to say that, so this is getting into the details. This is getting into what does it really look like if you are a naturopath or you see a naturopath. These are protocols collected. Aisha wanted me to really let everyone know that this is from so many, this is not me and mine. This is from all of our team, a lot of other sources. As different practitioners, we've talked amongst ourselves. This is from reading a lot. I have some really great practitioner level courses backed with incredible science, incredible studies, telling us about how essential oils work with different kinds of microbes, including viruses, and where they work in the different replication cycles of a virus. A virus will start to replicate in 3 different ways in the body, and what's happening, whether it is quorum sensing, which is disrupting the communication between viruses in its replication, or if it's in the later part, the RNA sequence. So what I'm telling you is fueled by information and knowledge gained both clinically and from science and studies from so many different people that we've brought together to kind of come to give you the idea of what it actually really looks like to be using natural medicine in an incredibly effective way to be working through these kind of situations. So one of the things I wanted to just start off with is and I think Erin will be posting, or somehow we'll be getting everyone this link if you want to actually look in further detail at this. This is on a shared platform of scientists. It's an emergency medicine protocol for alleviations and initial. Oh, can everyone mute themselves? Someone there? Or Aisha, you want to mute, and then I'll have to unmute myself, maybe? Okay, great, thanks. So you can see here for the treatment of mild and serious symptoms of COVID-19. And what this is okay, so we have someone on the line who has some kids in the background. Or Aisha, can we do a mute of everyone again?
Almost.
All right, we're back. And what this is, I'm here to show everyone, is this has been put out very recently, and it's a suggestion that from traditional emergency medicine hospital MDs that, wow, we can't do anything. We don't really have a lot for this situation with COVID-19. Here's a potential thing we could do. And so it's actually a treatment guideline borrowing from Chinese medicine. And they are saying that they're initiated a study on these, but in the meantime, let's use it because we don't really have a whole lot. And it's using essential oils in hydrotherapy applications, using the internal dosing and topical every hour with essential oils. And this is the initiation of the study and the use of them. So I think that's pretty awesome. So I just wanted to share that with everyone. And now let's go into, wait a minute. Huh. I don't know. I might have to, my thing is not working. I might have to
Josie,
stop.
if you want me to share the PowerPoint, I can.
Something happened when I muted and unmuted. Hold on. I'm fine. I just have to maybe reshare it again. It wouldn't let me go forward. Not sure why.
I also have it too, Joseph, if you need me to pull it up. Why don't you try one more time?
Yep. Hold on.
There's still little kidlet in the background there. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
I think I got it muted. I'm going to keep checking the mutes, so
Thank you.
not to worry.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. I lost the actual.
Here, Jose, do you want me to do it? Here, let me help. I got it right here.
I want to do it.
Oh, you want to do it?
I can,
okay.
Yeah, I do want to do it.
Okay.
All right. Hopefully it'll work in terms of being able to move forward. I don't know why it didn't.
We're only seeing a portion of the screen though.
It says, there we go. Are you seeing it now?
I'm only seeing a portion of it.
Oh, my screen is full. So that's weird.
Is everyone else seeing it?
Nope, I can only see a part of Josie's screen. I think you should try sharing, Aisha, if you can.
Yeah, Jose, I think for time, we got to just move forward this way. Keep things moving.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay. So I wanted to go over, these are the basic concepts, which are really, so the idea is there's a lot of detail here. I'm going to try and go as methodically and quickly through for everyone. But the idea is to give you a broader concept of how much we're using and how much frequency and in the ways that we're using it. But again, we are all individuals. So how one person deals with an infection with natural medicines is not how the next person might. And so you also need to follow your own knowledge of your body and common sense. Sorry about that, that's my computer. And really, and kind of fall into that, okay? So, because I am gonna give you options. And so there needs to be some, are you someone who needs a little bit less, understanding your circumstances and that kind of a thing. So in general, I talk about SFDD, small frequent daily doses. This is the model of essential oil therapeutics, as I call it. But this is for mostly prevention and wellness, okay? So this is what we do for wellness care and daily care and prevention. When you are in it, when you are, or believe you are fighting something off and this off, we're in a different place. You work into a place that you have doses are more frequent and larger for a limited amount of time, okay? And this is very safe for the amounts of times that we're doing it, and for our bodies, it is safe. Another big concept is that fever is our body's natural fighting mechanism. As naturopaths, so I also asked Erin to post. We have a naturopathic paper. Thank you, Dr. Rose, who sent this to me, on naturopathic medicine and our stance on fevers and fighting fevers. And there's a lot of great information in that. So you'll have that link to dig further into this concept and have more information. But in general, naturopaths do not believe in fighting fever, and that actually decreases your body's ability to fight off the infection. And so that it does not, even in what is going on, that is not a goal. And even I know ibuprofen has been considered a problem, but there are studies that show, not in this particular circumstance, but in general with fevers and infections, acetaminophen and aspirin, both being negative and not beneficial for your actual immune system and your body's ability to fight what is going on. So there's wonderful techniques of hydrotherapy and the oils to use in the discomfort of a fever. Okay, the next concept is acting as if. So what does this mean? Act as if you means that if you are not sure, if you have a little tickle and a cough, if you have beginning usual allergy symptoms, you have beginning symptoms that you think maybe just be allergy symptoms, or maybe you have a funny tummy and it's just not right and your digestion is off, or you're just plain tired, you're exhausted, and you even have a good excuse for feeling exhausted, or you have like a low-grade fever, like a 90, 96, and something like that, or you have a little tiny fever, or you just feel achy, sore, aching muscles. You have a small little sore throat building, or any kind of headache, right? But you're not sure. You've had these in the past. Right now, you are going to act as if that no matter how much you think you can explain it as anything else, you're going to act as if you have this, right? That's what acting as if means. So any of those kind of circumstances right now is not the time to wait and see, how you feel later tonight or tomorrow. There's a lot of instances where people are feeling those funny little symptoms on day one, and then they're not sure, and they wait until day two, and day two, things are really serious, okay? So you act as if you have it. You go into full protocol, starting with day one, which you'll see in a minute, hitting it extremely hard. Do not wait to start day one protocol until you feel more sure. Any feelings right now that you are off and you're not your usual physical self, we are off emotionally, a lot of us, right? We're dealing with a lot of things. So I'm predicating that by saying your usual self physically is when you should start the day one protocol. Let's explore this. Is there a downside to this? No. Only huge side benefits to your enhancing your immune system, your nervous system, your cardiovascular system, your inflammatory system. I think you get the idea, right? So if it's a false alarm, and what's the harm there? All you've done is to better prepare your body and all of your systems for better health. Okay. So that's the act as if principle. And then the next concept is our really working as well, because we feel that this is a respiratory situation, but respecting the gut. Our gut is a huge front line of defense. We fight off invading microorganisms here. So keeping our GI system and our microbiome and our gut, any of those things, healthy and flowing is very important. We do not want to have stagnant bowel movements or any kind of stagnancy in our GI system. This is very important for prevention. And so following our outlined baseline protocol is really important during prevention and during fighting it off. So I'm going to give different options in a couple of instances, and just to know that there are varied circumstances and needs of everyone. This is incredible. We have 253 people here. Some people have a large inventory. They've been working with essential oils for a while, and they've had the blessing and benefit to be able to build up their inventory, and so they can use a lot of different oils. And yay, that's what we love, right? But some people are newer to start, and so they don't have as many. Some people, there's also, in terms of pocketbook, there's just variations on and what people can tolerate. So keep that in mind when I do give variations. And when in doubt, the oil you have is the right oil. Seriously, you have to work really, really, really hard to find an oil that is not antimicrobial. Yes, we have some superstars and we do highlight those. However, please know that the oils are so multifactorial and they work on so many different levels that it's really hard to go wrong. Okay. Oh, next slide. Fighting it off. So this, remember, we know where we are with day one, right? You're acting as if, and you have some kind of funky thing going on. You're not sure what it is, and you're in day one and you're fighting it off. Or you're actually feeling pretty darn, you know what this is, and it really doesn't feel great, and you're fighting it off. So the goal to fighting it off is to not get into expanded sickness. Again, when we work with that as if principle, when we nip this in the bud, right? I love, my mom's from the South. I love that saying, on it like a tick, right? When we are on ourselves, we're watching things. And as soon as the slightest bit of offness happens, we are on it like a tick, right? We go into protocol and we hit it hard. When you do this, you have the ability to not go into the expanded sickness. You have the ability to push it out and have your front line of defense, your gut, and the rest of your immune system do what it can and should do and fight this thing and not get into an actual infection, right? Because you're just exposed initially. And those initial symptoms you are feeling is your body doing its thing. It's fighting this off. That's why sometimes people just have a funny tummy, because guess where their body is fighting the infection off? That's right, in their gut. So the goal is to not get into expanded sickness. You're exposed, you felt your initial feelings of being off, and you acted quickly as if you went into full protocol, and then you recovered and did not actually get sick with those upper respiratory symptoms. Yay! Okay, so that's our goal. What are you going to do for that? Here is your baseline, right? I've gone over before in my presentations about protocols and LLVs, the baseline, which we consider a full dose of the Lifelong Vitality pack, taking Terrazyme with the meals, but also 5 times a day, 3 with the meals and in the morning and evening, and those times away from meals help work with inflammation and clearing and cleaning the body. And then citrus in your daily water, right? That's our baseline. Now you're going to really up it to a dose of Melissa and Melaleuca and or oregano every 15 minutes for a minimum of 2 hours. You could definitely do this all day long. Some people are like, oh, I don't know if I could do that. So that's a minimum of 2 hours, and then every hour. You get the idea. You are doing it. You're not doing a large dose here, but you're doing it incredibly frequently. Now I say here, as outlined in the daily teas, shots, glasses, and sublingual doses. Aisha, when I finish this slide, we're going to go to the end and quickly review that stuff, but not yet. So I will go over it a little more about this, which we did go over. Are other people getting that? Sharon Brayton, can you mute yourself?
Yes.
Thank you.
And Josie, don't worry, I'm working on the muting.
Okay, thanks.
Keep going.
Okay, so what you're in this section, what I go over is I talk about this on our second call, this idea of dosing every 10 to 15 minutes. Now you can be intermingling those. You could be doing a swipe, right? We've talked about the Melissa swipe. I don't know if people can see me right now, but it's just doing a little swipe around the side of the bottle, right? And then taking a suck in your finger. That's the swipe. Doing a drop or two in a shot glass with a half an ounce or an ounce of water and downing it. Making these teas, doing and then drinking the tea all through the day, right? In addition to these shot glass doses. And we talked about the oregano as well, being very intense, but very effective. And so you're going to be doing that. You're going to start and take 2 DDR capsules 3 times a day. So that's the beginning of expanded internal dosing. And then I give alternatives from some people don't have DDR. You can be working. So about what's the approximate of taking 2 DDR capsules? It would look like taking 1 GX Assist capsule plus 2 On Guard Plus capsules. All 3 of those 3 times a day. Making your own DIY Flume, which we have the recipe at the end, with 2 drops of each of those oils in Flume. And then, or making, if you have DDR oil, you could make your own oil gel cap with the DDR, with 8 drops of the DDR oil filling up with fractionated coconut oil. You could divide that into 2 gel caps and take it. So you're going to be doing that. Get in a Symphony of the Cells. Twice would be great. If you can only do it once, we do it once. So that's a topical application. And again, be hitting it hard with the oils like oregano and thyme in particular, or DDR On Guard on the bottoms of your feet as many times as you can, 2 to 3 times during that day. Be diffusing. I say DDR plus, right? Everyone has their favorite things they want to add. Have baselines of oils. DDR, if you don't like the smell of it, you can add other things to it. I like DDR and Adaptive. Supporting your GI. So here's where you start to see this idea of really supporting our gut, keeping it flowing and moving. So before bed, 2 Zendocrine complex capsules. That's herbal complex, plus 1 of the Zendocrine oil gel caps. If you have the oil but not the gel cap, you could make your own. 2 Terrazymes, and then taking that before bed, and then upon waking, a PB Assist, right? We're helping that whole flow of your digestive system and supporting it. Now, additional antioxidants above and beyond the LLV and the alpha CRS. We love the Deep Blue Polyphenol Complex, otherwise known as DBPC, and the Turmeric Duo Caps. So I didn't even put an amount there. The minimum would be 1 of each, but you can go very high on these, right? So use them as you see fit. They are incredible for inflammation and supporting our immune system. Now I added in, these are extras: vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin A, and zinc. These are our main nutrients, supplements for working with infections, and so specifically viral. And we have these in the LLV at a really wonderful maintenance dose, right? Support, prevention, wellness. Day 1 is the most important. Here is when you are trying to push this out and not descend down into an actual illness. This is when you can megadose, high dose. I put up here, so 3 to 6 grams of vitamin C or up to bowel tolerance. Basically, each person is individual, and there's a certain amount of vitamin C you can handle until you get diarrhea. And getting diarrhea is called bowel tolerance, and you back off 1 gram lower than that amount. So really, it's a thing. So most humans will 3 to 6 grams. You're safe before you'll get diarrhea, but that's a high amount. You can definitely go higher. Liposomal is the best, but I'm not going to go into brands. So vitamin D on this first day, every day to 2, you can go up to 50,000 IUs. So people will take 1 pill of vitamin D that's 50,000 IUs as a weekly dose or a monthly dose from their doctors. So definitely, depending on what you have, if you have one that's a 2,000, a 1,000, or a 5,000 dose, just, you could do a couple squirts. Vitamin A up to 50,000 IU. Again, you can actually go higher than this. I'm holding back, but you get the idea. Most people don't have vitamin A. It's usually in a liquid, kind of oil-based form. It's not as easy to get, but if you do have it, it's wonderful. This is always a caution with pregnancy, under 10,000 for pregnancy, or if you're possibly able to get pregnant, basically, that you're in that part of your life, and you're a woman. Zinc, up to 60 milligrams in divided doses. You can go higher. This is when you really have to caution with just nausea. Take it with food. And usually people could buy 10 or 20 milligram doses of zinc. Lozenges are great. But this is to give you an idea of like how much, how high, like you could go really high here. You're really in that megadose zone. So Aisha, let's go to the end where I have let's just take it through. the next, like, so fighting it off looks good. Yeah. Okay, go back. Whoop.
Go back to where?
To the fighting it off, or just one more, not to, before tease. There you go, fighting it. No, you had it at fighting it.
Oh, sorry. This is so not here.
Yep. Go, keep going. Keep going. Keep going, next one, this one. Okay, you just went past it. That one, okay. So from here, I'm going to go very quickly, everyone, from here down. These are the extras. We've gone through this stuff in other calls, and so it's kind of the basics. And I'm just going to go through it quickly. So this idea of how to be using the oils in daily teas, swiping the bottle and getting a dose on your finger or on your thumb, putting it in your mouth, doing a shot glass, sublingual doses. These are all the ways that we can be taking them. And right, so that swipe, our preferred oils right now when we're doing this is Melissa or Melaleuca in the mouth, right? And this, I was saying here, every waking 15 minutes for the first, in that first day is optimal. Oregano, it's great to alternate this. So you could alternate doing Melissa or Melaleuca with a shot. And how many shots of oregano? If you do about 3 in that first day, you'd be doing great. And then alternating that with either doing Melissa or Melaleuca. And you swish it and you just get it down. It's intense if you've never had oregano, but you just stomp your foot, as I say, a couple times, and then you're good to go. So, and then my little thing is to put a little drop of Digest Zen with Melaleuca. It helps with the flavor. And then you can always make a tea, right? So adding these oils and in a tea and sipping it, alternating these different variations throughout the day. Children tend to do best with the Melaleuca and Digest Zen. Okay, let's go to the next one. So here are tea suggestions, how to make it in the amounts, and we have kind of the titles or kind of give you the idea of what they're for. And I just wanted to highlight under the fighting it teas. These are the ones we're talking about, and my favorite with the frankincense, copaiba, Siberian fir, pink pepper, and tangerine. This is a really powerful and delicious tea. So not only is it really the oils that we want to be focusing on, it is, I worked hard to get teas that are very flavorful and tasty. So On Guard and copaiba is that cinnamon and clove, that's tasty in a different way. You have the cinnamon or cassia, black pepper, lemon, and then pink pepper, copaiba. Those are all as quite tasty and not super intense. So those are ones for everyone. So let's go to the next slide to show. These are, I put into categories oils for people to, I sort of say, if you're not sure and you want to be making up your own, choose one from each of these categories and then combine them as you are inspired. But know that these are the oils that are anti, right? These are the fighters. They're fighting off what's going around right now. And so here's the list that is powerful. And then let's go to the next list. These are ones that are, you're going to see copaiba on both of them, are supportive, that would be nice for frankincense, should be on both of them. I don't know if it is, right? But these are ones to then combine and add with. Let's go to the next slide. We've gone over Fluma. What Fluma stands for is frankincense, lemongrass, On Guard, oregano, Melaleuca, and arbor vitae. So this is for making your own roller bottle that is incredible hand sanitizer. If you take off the A, because arbor vitae is not an oil that we take internally. So if you take that off, we also love Flume. So it's all those oils without the arbor vitae. Those are all safe for internal use. And I talk about those, or yes, with doing in lieu of Symphony of the Cells protocol. So just know these are the oils I'm talking about. And that frankincense, On Guard, oregano, and Melaleuca are all in the top 10 oil kit. So if you've started with one of those opening enrollment kits with doTERRA and you have those top 10 oils, you have almost all of those oils. Lemongrass is one of our most affordable oils, so you can order that as well, or you can just make foam without the lemongrass. DDR has lemongrass, so if you have DDR, you can add DDR where lemongrass would be. Okay, let's go on. So I break down in the protocols, we mentioned Symphony of the Cells a lot. I'm hoping to get out this week another video of me showing Symphony of the Cells. But I want to let everyone know, please don't make this more difficult than it is. It's so powerful and so simple. What Symphony of the Cells is a topical application of oils along the spine. And then we add in, and you can either do it on the feet or the spine and the feet. And we love to also smell the oil at the same time. That's what it is. And so we have listed and talked about the infectious disease protocol, which is ID, and the respiratory protocol of Symphony of the Cells. These are the ones in the day 1 and day 2, 3, 4, and through working through this, you're going to want to focus on. You want to alternate and or layer them. When I say layer them, I mean do both protocols in a row. So that's layering all those oils. So that's something that's about 15 oils. Or you can alternate them, do one in the morning and one in the evening. I'm giving some alternatives because some people do not have all those oils. If you do not have those oils, what is likely that a lot of people have the top 10 oils, right? So they have close to what is in Flume without the lemongrass. And then we advise either getting lemongrass and or DDR and rosemary. And you layer this up the spine in this order. So frankincense, carrier oil, I have it here, oregano, melaleuca, On Guard, DDR or lemongrass or both, breathe, and rosemary. Again, use what you have so you can alternate some oils, work with it. It's giving you an idea of one that is really wonderful and is kind of an amalgam of the ID and the respiratory, but is a lot of oils that you hopefully might have. So that's another option. And literally what we do is we go like, I get an oil. Aisha, can people see me?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
Oh, they can. Okay, great. So because I can't see. So I get an oil, about 4 drops in the palm of my hand. So this is for a chair massage, not a massage, a symphony. And you get a chair that does not have side arms, and you put a pillow along the back, and you have your person face the pillow and slump over the chair like this. And you just, they take their shirt off. You do the oils in the hands, and then you start at the base of their spine, at their lower waist, and you literally just swipe and rub it upwards to the top of the neck, to the base of the skull. That's one. And then you can put your hand in front of their face and say, take a deep breath, and they breathe in. And then you go to the next oil, and you just follow the sequence of oils. That's as simple as it needs to be. If someone's in bed and they're lying down, they're lying down, and you from the base of the spine, you rub up. You can drop them onto the spine, or you can drop them into your hands, do your hands together, and then do it up the spine. Either way, right? So you can do it in a chair, or you can do it lying down. You can do it just on your feet. When they're lying down, you get to do all 3. You can do it on their spine, have them take a deep breath, and then you can go and do the oils on their feet, right? You can do all 3, or just the spine, right? Or just the feet. So letting people know that the concept is really about getting the oils along the spine and layering them one after the other. That's the basis of Symphony of the Cells. All right, let's go to the next one, Aisha, because I think, so here is, okay, I don't know if people are seeing those marks.
Yeah, I'm not sure where those came from. And I don't know how to get rid of them.
Oh, okay, it's fine. So I don't know where they're not mine. So we outlined, so this will be in the PDF, the infectious disease and the respiratory. So there's the sequence. And then let's go to the next one. And then I'm going to talk about the Maxim protocol. So I have it here. And is that all we, and then I think that's it, right?
Yep.
Is that the end? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Should
now
I
we can go back
unshare?
to the beginning.
I'll go
No,
back to the beginning. Okay.
Oh yes, we're not done.
Okay. I do want to acknowledge that we are at a little past 1, but we're going to just keep going. If you need to hop
Yeah.
off, we will have the presentation shared for you. But if nobody has anywhere to go, we'll hang out for a little bit longer so Dr. Josie can finish.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to go to?
I think this is it. So so we went through day 1, right? Fighting it off, and went through all of those. So let's go to so after that, next one. So if it looks like you are in it, no, I'm sorry, Aisha, you skipped one. Yeah, fighting it off, continue. Okay. So if it looks like after day 1, a lot of the times when you do all that stuff, the next day you're like, hey, I'm feeling pretty good. That little tickle in my throat, it's better. My little funny tummy, it's better, right? That means you did it. Great job. You fought it off with your tools. Oh my gosh. So that's what we're aiming for, right? Great job if that happens. You want to stay with the basic form of the protocol for 2 to 3 more days because you were exposed, your body is still in that process and you really want to be supporting it, but yay. So basically you look at this baseline and you'll see that it's the same, but everything's just reduced down. It's not as intense, right? So taking a dose of the Melissa Melogar On Guard, 1 to 2, 3 times a day. And then I add in here, and for the rest of the time, I really love Copaiba and doing 2 drops of that under the tongue. It's very gentle in its flavor, and it's very doable by most people. And to add it in, it is so high into beta-carophylline, and beta-carophylline is incredible antiviral and incredible immune stimulant. So it's a really great thing to add in all the time in addition to everything. So there we have that. And then you'll notice instead of 2 DDR, I say 1 to 2, 3 times a day, right? You can kind of take, and then the others are a little bit lower in their dosages, the alternative possibilities. I sort of just say take 2 on Guard Plus. You don't work with the GX Assist. GX Assist can be intense on the belly. Working with the T's, I say optional for Symphony of the Cells. Of course it would be good, but there you go. And then still supporting your gut. This is definitely where you really want to be working with your GI and your pathways of elimination. And then notice the nutrients are all taken down to a much more manageable daily dose. Okay, let's go to the next one, Aish. So, but what if you go that pounding, you fight hard that first day, but you got a really high load, when you're exposed and you're in it. Okay. And you're in it. So this is when you go into you go and continue with the protocol. So keep on days 2, 3, and 4. And so now I just added, you'll notice everything's pretty similar, but added in being specific about, 2 deep blue polyphenol complex and or turmeric caps 3 times a day. Swiping and using the shot glasses, adding, every 2 to 3 hours, adding in the Copaiba. And I even said pink pepper. Pink pepper is actually quite mild as well. And these are 2 that I love in my tea. So I get these in drinking my favorite tea recipe, the Copaiba and the pink pepper. If you're not doing that in the tea, then you could be doing them under the tongue, right? So you could kind of play around with that. Working with the teas, 2 DDR soft. So this gives you an idea when you're really in it. We're talking about 2 DDR soft gels 3 times a day plus 1 GX Assist twice a day, or the equivalents. So that could be, you see the alternatives, those are the same there, and making up and working with them. So giving, whether you're making up your own DIY capsules, it's giving you an idea of kind of the amount of oils you want to be taking internally during this time. Symphony of the Cells twice a day, so you don't have to be lying down. If you are really in it, you will be, but you can be in a chair. You can be having someone just do it on your feet. So supporting the gut, these are all pretty the same. The oils chosen for the feet and then the throat and chest. Now you're really going to be focusing on the throat and chest, looking at that breathe, rosemary, eucalyptus. Rosemary is really important. I love the trifecta of frankincense, copaiba, and Siberian fir. Siberian fir is incredibly helpful for the lungs, and the copaiba goes deep, and the frankincense, this trio on the lungs. You can add in the rosemary and something like Aroma Touch. Really, really nice for or breathe for the chest. Continuing to diffuse. And then I added in, we have applications of heat to the chest. So after you do a symphony, or any kinds of those topical applications, of course, adding a hot pack, a hot water bottle, a heating pad, any of those things on top of are wonderful to help drive the oils deeper in, using peppermint and geranium on the bottoms of the feet, the temples, the back of the neck, and hydrotherapy applications for fever, right? So these are the natural ways to work with our fever. Past tense or peppermint and frankincense for headaches to the forehead, temples, back of neck. And then you'll see the vitamin C. It's more than you made it through, but it's less than the first day. So taking about 3 grams of vitamin C a day, and then you see those other dosages of the other guys. Let's go to the next one. All right, so day 5 and on. We're almost finished. Ah. Continue with the protocol, right? This is lasting a long time for people who actually get in it. So we don't know. I mean, some people it is a week, other people it is 3 to 4 weeks. So you continue through this process. What I wanted people to know is once you are kind of in that longer phase, continue with the protocol, especially daily Melissa and the Symphony of the Cell treatments, but you want to switch things up. Have someone do another order, get some more from different oils. Consider alternating some of the oils in this phase in all of the modes that you are using it in. So some of the oils you want to be thinking about to really help support the viral replication and also the inflammatory process, right? So that aspect of having our immune system and how it responds to these infections and how it modulates. We want that response to be healthy and modulated and not go out of control. So a lot of the continuing on definitely with the things like the alpha CRS, the deep blue polyphenol complex, the turmeric caps, incredibly helpful. That tea of mine is where you really want to focus on that. The oils in here, the frankincense, copaiba, Siberian fir, pink pepper, very helpful. Thinking about oils to do your own gel caps. Again, you notice the oils, frankincense, copaiba, pink pepper, sandalwood. Sandalwood is really one here that helps with the late stage issues, as it does turmeric and the rosemary and also melissa. You see Siberian fir is incredible, again, for the lungs, clove for biofilm. You see that focusing on repair, tissue recovery, biofilm, things like rosemary, sandalwood, clove, and turmeric. This is where we want to switch to when it's kind of in that deeper end or tail end is to the Maxim Symphony of the Cells. You'll notice a lot of the oils that I just spoke about are in that protocol. So follow the protocol listed after fighting it off for 2 weeks after you begin to feel better, right? So this is where people fall down. They start to feel better and they're like, oh my God, I'm so tired of doing all that stuff. Yay, I don't have to do it anymore, right? And they start eating things they shouldn't be eating and all of that. So no, you really need to keep things up. You can drop the intensity down a little bit, but you really want to support your system and keep things up for at least 2 weeks. So again, here is that baseline. I made a couple modifications, but that's when you're in the recovery phase. And let's go to, I think is that it, Aisha? I think, yep. And then we're back to the beginning. So that is, I know it was a lot.
We did it.
Everyone quickly through, we did it. That is the sequence of giving you everyone a lot of tools to kind of, take your time, download the PDF, study it a little bit, look into it, and hope this is helpful. I don't know if we can do questions if people want to stay on, or if we do things at a different time.
You've got 212 people who are still hanging with you, so you want to take a few
Yes.
questions.
We're here. If everybody wants to hang on, I'm happy to stay online with everyone. That was a lot.
It's a lot. I yes, right?
It's a lot. I want to reiterate a couple things before we get to questions. You're going to have access to this document, and the principles that we keep teaching are that it's the small, frequent things we do every day. I act as if always. And as we move into our times, these threats are not going away. So if you don't have a regular protocol in your life, just kind of your maintenance protocol, now is a really good time to start to integrate that into steps and get in the daily habits. It's the small things we do every day that have a lasting impact. So now is the time to start taking your supplements, get your oils in you regularly, set yourself up for success so you don't even have to deal with this. So just start there, and then have the confidence of knowing if you start to get sick, you have this resource to start hitting things hard. So let's go ahead and move to questions. Erin, are there any questions that you want to read to us?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, Dr. Josie, what are your thoughts about adding quercetin? Is that how you pronounce it? It's the supplement to a daily protocol.
Yeah, sure. Quercetin is wonderful. It's like vitamin C. It helps with and
we have it in CRS.
Quercetin is in I think it's in Alpha CRS.
Yeah, I think we have it in our supplements already.
Yeah.
Check those labels.
Yes, I just had to, keep it succinct, focusing. Bang for the buck.
And can you just confirm this? When you're talking about hydrotherapy, you mean like a bath, a sauna, a shower?
Yes. So hydrotherapy, and in that fever, naturopathic fever document from this wonderful clinic, they go into some of that and they describe it more. So that's a great document to look at. But basically hydrotherapy, balneotherapy is, Dr. Louise Rose is wonderful expert on this, more than myself, but it is one of the traditional medicines of naturopathic theory. And it is really the idea of the application of specifically of hot and cold and alternating it. So the idea is that the cold applications of cold water, so it's with water, whether you use water in a towel or in a hot pack or something like that, and heat exchange. The therapeutic aspect is really the water is this cold. Cold drives when we put it on the surface, it drives all our blood deeper down into the surface to our organs. And that's where we want the blood when we're trying to heal from sickness. And so the kind of joke is that, all the saunaing and hot tubbing and all of the heat is really just to prepare ourselves to be able to withstand the cold, which is the therapeutic part. So whenever you are saunaing or doing therapies like that, you want to alternate hot, cold, because then what you're doing is the hot application is bringing your blood to the surface. And then you do it like you dunk yourself in the cold water or cold shower. The cold application is driving it back into the body. So guess what's happening? Your blood's doing this, right? Driving in and down. And so it's a way when someone is sick that you can help drive their circulation. So where's the immune system? It's in the circulation. It's in the blood. And so if we're more stagnant and we're sick and we're in bed all day and we're not exercising, our circulation is moving really slowly. And if we apply alternations of hot and cold, guess what we're getting our body to do? We're getting it to move our circulation more and move our immune system and get things moving. It's always beneficial. There's a wonderful treatment that I did not put here, which we should, that is called warming socks. It's one of our oldest beloved ones. And it's about working, and we'll get that from Dr. Louise. She has a great write-up on it, and post that as well. And that's one of the easiest things to do when you are sick for hydrotherapy. Yeah.
Yes, when I was recovering from postpartum, my naturopath had me take a hot shower and then wrap a cold, wet towel around the middle of my body and lay in bed until I basically warmed up the towel. So that's a version of hydrotherapy.
Yeah, right. And that was really doable, right?
Yes, it was great. It's totally great. You're all hot and then the cold feels good and you feel good afterwards.
Yeah, the warming socks is that you dunk your feet, whether it's in the bathtub or a bowl of hot water, and as hot as water as you can stand for about 5 minutes up to your ankles. And then you have socks, some cotton socks that you put in the sink. You stop up the sink, you do cold water, you put little ice cubes, right? You get those socks, you wring them out from the cold, take your feet out of the hot, and you put the cold socks on as quickly as you can. And you don't really care because your feet are really hot. You've warmed them up. Now I like to hack and add in an oil. So right before, when I take my feet out of the hot water, quickly dry them off, I put on like On Guard or DDR, and then I put the cold socks on. And then you put like wool, a nice insulating sock on top of that, and you go to bed. So if you're sick and you're in bed already, you can have someone help you with this, and you just kind of drag yourself and you soak your feet for a little bit. You get them to help you prepare it, you put it on, and then you just get back in bed. And it really, really helps with the circulation. So we'll post that, the warming socks, so because I'm going over it really quickly.
Okay, can you explain why, or if it is important to drink warm teas versus a cold tea?
Gosh, I wonder if Vivian wants to, the shock of that, the cold into your system with, you just don't want to be cooling down your system. You don't want to have to be using energy to try and warm it up. I think there's other things as well. We're so much more sensitive when we have a fever and when we're fighting, and you don't want the cold to be on the inside. Like so you can do a cold application here, but you drink the cold water and you bring it down into your organs. That's not where you want to be bringing cold. I don't know if there's someone like Vivian or Chinese medicine who could say more.
Okay, I'm just checking to see. Laura Goff says, from a TCM perspective, cold is harsh on your digestion and creates phlegm.
Yeah.
Vivian's happy to come on video and talk to it if we want her to.
Yeah, I think that would be it's like phlegm inducing. Cold, phlegm always go together. And so especially drinking it down our throat and in this part where the infection is happening.
Yeah, most Chinese medicine recommends that you always drink at least room temperature water.
Room temperature, yeah. Yeah, it's a very American thing, ice and cold water.
Okay, Susanna is asking for more details about the lungs because she has a family member with asthma and she's concerned if he gets it. So is there anything special about someone who has a lung issue already?
To do? Is there something special to support?
Yeah, if you have someone with asthma come down with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, everything we've said, all the more reason to be on it like a tick. Like, I really love the trifecta: frankincense, copaiba, and Siberian fir. The Siberian fir is really, it's gentle but very dispelling to phlegm, and I get that from Dr. Will Wan and Dr. Mika Karu from their wisdom and he's reiterated that, like, really using Siberian fir a lot, and you can drink it, and so supporting that, and breathe, and rosemary and eucalyptus, all of these on the lungs, and frankincense and breathe in the palm of the hand. And doing that, I would do it all, like, with, is it a child or who has the asthma?
I think she's saying her father. So
Her father, whoever it is, get them into the, like, doing it now, all the time, like every hour or two, 1 drop of Breathe and a drop of frankincense, and you could add Siberian fir. Oh, Diane. Oh, okay. No, maybe when I'm off. Okay. And really breathing that in, right? That would, you could, and they could be alternating. So I love, Breathe is wonderful on its own. Adding in any of the trifecta or alternating. So alternating Breathe, and then like frankincense, copaiba, and Siberian fir, all of those 4 are kind of my favorite oils for really supporting the lungs.
Josie, would this be a good time to also mention one of the oddest application methods, but probably very effective?
Oh,
the lungs. Maybe you can do it in doctor speak.
Well,
no, though, if I had a family member,
yeah,
who had a respiratory condition,
yeah,
and I was concerned with them getting this thing, I would absolutely do a suppository, so an anal suppository method of essential oils like copaiba, frankincense, melaleuca, Siberian fir might be okay there too. So how do you do this? It's pretty easy. You get some carrier oil, so olive oil, sesame oil. Some of you like to use fractionated coconut oil. You get a syringe from the pharmacy, those little tiny syringes that maybe you'd give a cat medicine with, and you do an anal suppository. And the reason for that is the blood vessels in that area go direct to the lungs.
That connection.
That's most effective.
Yeah. In Chinese medicine, they figured that out a long time ago. Like large intestine, lung are on the same, they pass right there with those same kind of energy ley lines, and that connection between the large intestine, which ends in the rectum, and the lungs. Yeah. So that's great, Erin. And I have not had experience with children. Like, I think, you kind of practice, you have fun with it. They kind of love, poop and poop jokes. It's not as weird for them. And, with the syringe and just clenching and holding it for as long as you can. And then you sit on the toilet, you let it out. It's, it sounds weirder than it is, actually. Or,
If we don't have the extra vitamins on hand, can we just double up on the Lifelong Vitality Pack?
Yes. I did not. Yes. So some of there's there's been dry runs of vitamin C and a lot of these things. I mean, so I just wanted to put out those indications for people who have them or want to get them, or just as added. It's not mandatory. And yeah, doubling up on the LOV would be an option. You can, they have in pharmacies and such forth, they have there's a company called, what is it? Is it Zicam? It's so interesting to me, a pharmaceutical company that figured out that homeopathic zinc actually works. And so they have these, they have these lozenges that are like a small amount of real zinc and also homeopathic zinc. And they've made a whole, pharmaceutical line out of it. And I'm like, okay, great. So those are really effective and easy to get if you can, at a pharmacy. But
yes,
at Natural Health, yeah.
Some people were actually asking about sourcing for the other supplements. So can we put some recommendations together on the website? How to pick your zinc or how to pick
your gosh. It's so, gosh, there's so many. That's a hard one. I mean, that's why I just sort of said vitamin C, there's a lot of different thoughts on it. Yeah, let me think about that. Liposomal is the current kind of favorite for ability to absorb. Yeah, I can work on that.
We can maybe give a couple of recommended brands so we're not.
Yes, a couple ones. Vitamin A is not easy to get in the liquid form, so I will give those. There's pretty much like 2 brands I know of. Yeah.
Okay, Aisha has one last question and then we should probably close up.
Yes, Dr. Josie, First of all, if you are on this call and you are a hospital worker, thank you. Our deepest gratitude goes out to you. And so the question is, Dr. Josie, if somebody is working in a hospital daily on the front lines, what would you recommend for extra protection?
Oh, I do have some favorites. So yeah, that thing of doing Correct-X right at the base of the nose, and I go in to the nose a little bit, I love that underneath the masks. And then also, depending on, I don't know what kind, the mask, but I have some of those general cloth kind of construction worker masks, so that's like a non-permanent cloth material, whatever that is. And I've been doing my Flume roller bottle, and I roll it onto my hands, and then I did that initially, rubbed the inside of the thing, and now I just have a kind of dedicated Flume roller bottle, and I rub the insides of the mask, and then we'll do when I've gone to the grocery store, and that's probably overkill, right? But if you're working in a hospital, this would be great. And then to do the Correct-X at the base of the nostrils, or make up one. The problem with making up your own with like a carrier oil is that it just absorbs. It doesn't last as long, right? Because that's what's nice about having something like a jojoba base. You can use a petroleum basing. It's not awesome, but if that's what you have, like a Vaseline, and drop. You don't need a lot of essential oils, like probably in one of those jars of Vaseline, I would do like 20 drops of On Guard or something, or DDR in that, mix it around, and then do that. Anyone else have?
I think we got it. And, I would also add to that the acting as if protocol. If you know that you have a high risk of exposure, I would be very proactive and take all the things, as well as putting the correct X on your nose.
Super proactive.
But I would.
And then also like really like doing the like Flume or what, at the front, your whole neck and the back of the neck, kind of treating those places, have it in your pocket, bring it out, and just sort of like anything that's kind of exposed, every hour or so.
There is one more question that just came in. When you do the Symphony of the Cells, do you do one deep breath when it calls for it, or 3 deep breaths? I've always done 3.
Oh, well, more is better, but most people, you don't know what your audience, your captive person, how long they feel that, so you just, yes, 3 breaths is my ideal, is wonderful. But a lot of times people aren't that patient, or they're, whatever. So I would say anywhere between 1 to 3 breaths is great.
Great. Okay. Well, we're at 1:34. So let's wrap this up. Dr. Josie, thank you. That was epic, but that was incredible information. And thanks to all of you for hanging in here with us. I hope you've enjoyed this. So just a few last announcements to review. You can find these documents on hellovisionary.life and or essentialwellness.life under the Oil Talks tab. We will have them posted shortly. I don't think they're up there quite yet, but they should be up by the end of the day. On Friday, we will be meeting here again at 4 p.m. and we have a very special guest I'm very excited about, Dr. Jody Anderson, who's a medical doctor. She will be talking to us about how to support our system with the LLV, and also the importance of supporting your gut health to keep your immune system strong, and ways that we can go about doing that. Now, we also have some exciting things coming up. Starting next Tuesday, we are going to start an Oils Made Simple class. If you have not attended a basic Oil 101, this is advanced oil use is what we've covered today. But if you've not taken Oils 101, or if you newly have your oils and you're still just not sure how to use them or what to do with them all, you're going to want to jump on this call with us. Now is the time to also be sharing doTERRA, sharing it with your friends, your family. People need these products. These products can be life-saving for people. So if you would like to invite friends and family to this class, everybody is welcome. We just ask that whoever you invite, that you are on the call with them, because we will then refer them back to you to help them get started. If you do not know how to enroll a new member and you need help, you can reach up to your upline for support. So we're going to have those classes on Tuesdays at 4, so the 14th, the 21st, and the 28th. And my final announcement, which is really exciting, is because we are all staying in, doTERRA Leadership, which is normally for silver leaders and above, was canceled, and now it's all online, and anybody and everybody is welcome. So this is your one-time opportunity, if you are not building a doTERRA business and you are not a doTERRA Silver, that you can join us in leadership. And one of the talks I'm most excited about is Dr. Hill will be starting us off and doing a deep dive into our adaptive line. The adaptive line is a game changer for your mental, emotional health. If you're struggling with depression, with anxiety, or with high levels of stress, which many of us are struggling with right now, you definitely want to learn how to best use the adaptive. And Dr. Hill is going to be sharing. If you go to your doTERRA website and just type in doTERRA Leadership, you can register. We also have the events listed on our Essential Wellness page and also on the Visionary Leaders page. So I think that's all the announcements for now. Please stay home, stay safe, wear your mask, use your oils, connect with those that you love, and we look forward to seeing all of you on Friday. Again, Stephanie, Kellyanne, and Dr. Josie, thank you so much for sharing with us today, and we'll connect with all of you soon.